A term researchers call the cafeteria diet because consumers are faced with so many choices when they walk into the grocery store. Now that doesn't seem like a lot, but this weekend those wind gusts are going to pick up. We don't have any storms in Arizona. They might pop up a little bit in the southeastern part of our state. We're seeing some showers around the valley. I'll tell you how long those are expected to last, and I've got your 5-day forecast after the break. 6 to 12 inches of snow today. Now that storm is going to move up into Canada. The good news though, I'm tracking thunderstorms in the central and high plains and the latest on weakening Miriam off the coast of Mexico. All that plus your weekend forecast straight ahead. Though it has gained a little bit of strength since this morning. It was a tropical depression, but we see these winds have picked up to 40 miles per hour. Now the trail rating system helps novice.
I look people up, I see a lot of junk food, say chips, candy, soda.
It's the sodas, candy bars, and chips that stand out most at the grocery store.
What we see, we're more likely to choose.
In a recent study published in the New England Journal of Medicine, 2 doctors argue that product placement should be considered a risk factor for chronic diseases and obesity. And Dr. Linda Vaughn, the director for the School of Nutrition and Health Promotion at Arizona State University, understands how customers can be tempted.
They often make the consumer work to find the most healthy foods.
But it's not as easy as skipping the junk food aisle completely.
Product placement, the promotion, how they advertise things is a large influencer, whether it's psychologically and unconscious buys that consumers are making, or if it's conscious buys that consumers are making as well.
When you have to walk past a soda display to get to butter or eggs and wait in line next to cookies and candy, temptation strikes.
The more types of variety a person is exposed to, the total volume and caloric content of food they tend to consume.
A term researchers call the cafeteria diet because consumers are faced with so many choices when they walk into the grocery store.
You have to weigh that in equally amongst the many complexities that contribute to obesity.
Research from the article does point out a sales increase for foods in prominent locations, so there's no doubt that temptation plays a big part. In Tempe, Alice Kleinpeter, Cronkite News. Arizona had a 29% drop in teen births from 2007 to 2010.
Arizona's success, I think, is probably a combination of factors.
Factors that led our state to have the biggest drop in teen births across the U.S.
I think increased access to sex education, to comprehensive sex education and information about health, about reproductive health, leads to teens making better decisions.
And parents play a key role in educating their children.
Studies show is that parents are still a great influence on their teens' decision making.
Stephanie got pregnant with her first child in high school and has been adamant about teaching her children the effects of teen pregnancy.
So I think with my kids, I was like, no, they need to know everything. They need to know.
She makes sure her kids understand the consequences of having a child at such a young age.
I have a 5-year-old, so the older 2 kids, they have to help a lot. And I insist that they help a lot take care of her, so they understand how much work it truly is.
According to a USDA study, a middle-income family who had a child in 2010 can expect to spend over $200,000 to raise a child to the age of 17.
It's not just, okay, the baby's cute. No, it's a constant 24/7.
A reason why about 50% of teen mothers are leaving behind these and picking up these instead. That's because only about 50% of teen mothers get their high school diploma by the time they're 22 years old. Whether it's access to information or increased use of contraception.
It's a good trend, obviously, but I just want to be clear that a declining birth rate isn't necessarily cause for celebration.
That's because the teen birth rate in the U.S. is still the highest among industrialized nations.
So I think rather than bury our heads in the sand and just send the message that they need to say no and they need to abstain from sex, we need to look at the reality. And the reality is they're sexually active.
Reporting in Phoenix, I'm Alice Kleinpeter.